Villie Husso is traded, and Sheldon Dries is called up to the Detroit Red Wings.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network and sponsored by DraftKings. I am your host, Connor.
And I am your other host, Kyle. We are a show brought to you by the fans, for the fans, looking to just spread the love of Grand Rapids. And we are season ticket members. We go down to the games often. We see most of everything that happens. We follow every game on Flow Sports, and we just like to relay what we see because we know there's not a lot of information out there for the Detroit people, and it gives them a source to come to if they need it.
And we just want to make the Griffins nation grow as big as possible. We just want more people to be talking about Griffins. I mean, we're diehard Griffins fans, and we want everyone else to be diehard Griffins fans. So, there's some news going on.
Just got some milestone markers here for the Griffins coming up as Rafferty has played in 300 games. Didier has played in 500 games. And Austin Watson has played in 800 pro games. So congratulations to the three of them on those milestones.
So we do have a new giveaway coming up. It's a Cross Hanas puck and sign poster. If you want to look at that, you can go onto our Facebook or Twitter and enter in the giveaway. The directions are right on there. Just go to our featured section. Pretty much just like, follow us, subscribe to our YouTube. And if you already are subscribed to us, just comment your favorite player, and obviously comment your favorite player for everyone, because that's how we know that you signed up, really. So yeah, check it out. We try to give it a giveaway every couple months of the season. So we just like to give out stuff for other people. But in other words, we got the division standings.
Yeah, so the division standings, we'll start off with Grand Rapids as we are 28-24-1 with 61 points. Taking a step down still as we were reigning number 1. We are now at number 3 and number 15 in the league.
So the rest of the Central Division, the top 5 teams make the playoffs. The last 2 do not. We have in first place the Milwaukee Admirals with 64 points. In second place, we have the Texas Stars with 61 points. Third place, we have the Grand Rapids Griffins with 61 points, so tied for second with the Stars. Fourth place, we have the Chicago Wolves with 56 points. In fifth place, we have the Rockford Ice Hogs with 48 points, and they'd be the last playoff team if it were to end today. And then the Iowa Wild in sixth place with 42, and in last place still the Manitoba Moose with 38 points. So let's take a look around to the league. So you got the Rochester Americans in first place. You got the Laval Rockets in second place. You got the Hershey Bears still up there in third. You got the Colorado Wranglers in fourth, and the Coachella Valley Firebirds are right up in the mix of things in fifth. So yeah, we're sitting at 15th, opposed to not in the top 10 anymore. So we'd like to turn it around. I don't like seeing Milwaukee and Texas above us.
Yeah, not one bit. Not a good sign, as we need to get back on top of things. I like seeing us in the top 5 of the league, so hopefully we can get back up in there.
So let's get to some of the league leading scorers and points. We have Andrew Petrowski. He has 51 points in 47 games. That's a high-caliber player for sure. Tearing it up there for the San Jose Barracuda. You got Isaac Rosens with 50 points for the Rochester Americans. You got Charles Hudson for the Ontario Reign. and Seth Griffiths for Bakersfield Condors. So, yeah, there's just a lot of dudes with a lot of good points. I mean, 2 dudes above 50 at this point, Isaac Rosen and Andrew Porosky. So,
yeah, and a couple well on their way with Matt Blumel, who just put on a display against Grand Rapids this midweek matchup. And, 26 goals for him. I only see that increasing.
yeah, and that dude has just scored more goals than, they had Stankoven last year and Bork. You thought that those two were gone, they'd take a fall back, but no, Blumel and Aru, I believe,
Yep,
are just tearing it up, man.
Yeah, and then Martin Burke popping his head back in the AHL and the Calgary Wranglers there, and there's a former Griffin.
Yeah, nice to see a former Griffin there. Let's get into the Griffins leaders. So leading the Griffins after Sheldon Dries have been called up, Snively starts scoring, and they're actually tied now. But Joe Snively's sitting in the top spot. So both with 19 goals. Austin Watson's got 12 goals. Amadeus Lombardi's got 12 goals. So Amadeus Lombardi absolutely doesn't seem like he missed much of a beat being injured. The dude's been tearing it up, and I can see him taking over as the leading goal scorer here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, 25 games here for Amadeus Lombardi. That's half as many as the rest of the squad. So if you double that, we're looking at 24 points. So, I mean, that would make sense here.
Yep, and then Dominic Shine with 11 goals. He's having a career year also. So let's get the point leaders. So for points, Dominic Shine still leads the team with 36 points. You got Joe Snively in second with 35. You got Austin Watson with 31. You got Nate Danielson with 28, and you have Sheldon Dries with 27. So, yeah, nice to see Nate Danielson up there, and Dominic Shine still leading the way. And Amadeus Lombardi's climbing up there, too. He has 20 points, so watch for him to start breaking that top 5.
Yeah, he's the closest thing we got to a point per game player right now.
So, yeah, let's get into hot and cold. In this segment, we like to pick a player who's hot, we like to pick a player who's cold, and then we also like to randomly generate a random number, match it with a jersey number, and talk about that player. So we are going to start out with hot. So who we got hot, it was a really hard decision between Amadeus Lombardi and Nate Danielson, but we decided to go with Nate Danielson just because he's been tearing it up lately. I mean, he's had his head to the grindstone nonstop. He's been playing all season, put in harder positions. He's a rookie. He had a little streak there, like about 7 or 8 games where he didn't get any points, but he has 6 points in his last 7, so he's turned it around completely. And I just see him getting better as the season goes, kind of like Marco Kasper did last year. But he's got 52 games played, 7 goals, 21 assists for 28 points with a +1. So very impressive stuff by Nate Danielson.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that really kept Lombardi off the list here was he is in his 5 games returning. He is -5, where in these last 5 games, or the last 7 games here for Nate Danielson, Nate Danielson's only -1, even with all the goals that we had scored on us. So,
yeah, and he's just getting better as he goes. I think he's a very good candidate to take off here in the playoffs. I mean, him playing with Amadeus Lombardi and Carter Mazur, you can start to see the chemistry really build, and I hope to see more of that.
Yeah, and I think one other thing we got to mention is Lombardi has opened up the scoring for Grand Rapids a little bit, allowed the defense has to watch more than just Nate Danielson and Carter Mazur now, and the depth has increased. So we're seeing that go up, but yeah, I'd just like to see the defense from Lombardi now.
So we're going to go to cold. And we have Brogan Rafferty. So he's had some rough games lately. He's been -7 and ± in his last 7 games. He was sitting at like a +4 or +2.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had the -7, so it's put him down to a -5. He's very productive offensively. I mean, he's just scored a goal all their game. but he's just making a lot of bad mistakes. Like there was one game where he gave it right to their guy, right in our zone, right behind the net, and they scored. And that's just the stuff you don't want to see from a veteran guy. So I hope he can get his game together because he's a great right shot guy who has a lot of veteran experience, and I'd like to see him stick around. But if he's giving up a lot of goals like this, like that's just a liability, and you don't want that.
Yeah, and he's had that offensive upside all year, but like him and Walland are almost becoming very comparable, and it's almost like you confuse with them with each other on the ice with the 25 and the 22. They're both providing solid upside offensively, but in the defensive end, you just need them to clean it up. And the missed passes coming out of the zone gotta find their target.
So now we pick a random player. We randomly generate a number until it matches the jersey number. So Kyle, who do we got on the random number generator?
So we are rolling up number 51, Austin Watson.
Yeah, I got to say Austin Watson. He's been great this year. I mean, especially lately, him and Andre Becker playing together, they've been playing really good. I'd almost say he's on fire almost. He's just like a solid guy out there. He's consistent. He's a beast. He protects the rookies. As a former first-round pick, I mean, you can't complain about the guy. I'd say he's hot, too.
Yeah, I don't believe he made that road trip against Texas, and his presence was missed greatly. So he's needed out there, keeps that physical edge, and yeah, he's just been a constant contributor for this team all year, and yeah, definitely hot.
So that should bring us to some ads, our DraftKings ads, and then we'll get back to you with Griffins earning their wings.
This NHL season has been predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. That just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out, and games left for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sports app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort and Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to get into Griffins earning their wings.
So in the Griffins earning their wings segment, we like to talk about the Grand Rapids Griffins who have made their way up onto the Detroit Red Wings, those who are trying to make their way up onto the Red Wings, or those that have been in the Griffins system in the past and have made it through, and we just want to talk about guys.
So today we're obviously going to talk about Sheldon Dries because he just got called up to the Detroit Red Wings. Sheldon Dries has been our leading scorer so far this year in Grand Rapids. He has played 48 games with 19 goals, 8 assists for 27 points. I mean, he's been an absolute force for us here. I mean, the addition of him opposed to dudes like Joel Esperance and a couple of other dudes we got rid of, Austin Zarnik, Matt Luff. I feel like the veterans we got this year have a little more edge to them, and I like the guys we got. But we were just talking about Sheldon Dries, about how we think it would be him, Snively, or Shine who'd get the next call up. And yeah, I think he's the right guy for the pick.
Yeah, I really like Sheldon Dries. You're looking at a mature player, doesn't commit a whole lot of mistakes. He's very solid defensively. He wins a lot of faceoffs, and I really like his style of play. Like his rush, he's almost like a running back. He just goes right through people when you need him to. He will take the puck and run you over, and not afraid to use his body. He's very physical, and he's not a big guy. But it's just kind of one of those things where he plays a lot bigger than 5'9". And we're just looking at some good time highlights here for Grand Rapids out of Sheldon Dries this year.
I feel like he'd be really successful in the NHL if it wasn't for his small size. I mean, at 5'9", 180 pounds, you can't really expect much. I mean, there's like a very rare percentage of people who make it in the NHL. But I'd like to see what he can do with this opportunity and hope he does the best with it, what he can. So let's get on to Simon Edmondson. I got to say, he's my favorite Griff. I mean, since the eyes are playing, we got him for a couple of years. He grows on you big time. Like back to the Blazing Wings. He's like, who would buy any of this stuff?
Somebody put that on Reddit the other day, the whole Blazing Wings thing, and it went around. People were like, oh man, I can't believe that was so long ago. But it feels like yesterday at the same time. Edmondson has risen right through the ranks, and it's really good to see a prospect of his caliber do exactly what he's supposed to do. And he was ready. He was ripe and ready, and Red Wings got their hand on him. And yeah, we're looking at a complete player now.
Yeah, I mean, he's quickly jumped everyone else, and I'd say he's absolutely the second best defenseman on the team. And he capped that off with like a 2-goal performance the other night, getting Detroit the points against Minnesota, I believe it was. And yeah, he's had a good year. He's played 55 games with 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points, and a +10. So that's really good.
I'm really excited to see his offense starting to come alive, because that's when in Grand Rapids, once we started to see his offense and his confidence to take the puck into the zone, that's when we started to see the Simon Edmondson that really was the player that dominated the AHL. And if he's going to start showing that side in the NHL, I think we're in for a treat.
I do too. I think he could even be better than Sider for us. But time will only tell. Hopefully we stick them both together for a long time in the core of the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, and let's not forget Eljo there too, playing great. Just continuously playing great. I mean, obviously there's ups and downs still, but he's catching on. He'll be all right. And
yeah,
time with Edmondson has helped greatly.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that should wrap up this segment, and we will be getting to our last segment of the episode, which is the penalty box, after these quick ads. Welcome back to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are going to get into the penalty box. So the penalty box, this is our last segment of every episode. We like to step out on a fun note and step out of hockey. It's our one chance to. We get to pick the biggest idiot of the week, put them in the box for a 2-minute minor, a 4-minute double minor, a 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. So who I'm going to throw into the penalty box. So here in Michigan, some dude's losing his job because he got his huge semi stolen. He had it parked in his house at Caledonia, and in pure daylight, someone came, took the trailer right off, and took off with his truck. So now the dude's looking for a job. So yeah, 2-minute minor, man. It really sucks, but you really gotta realize what happens if my truck gets stolen.
Yeah, I can't believe they lost a semi truck.
And then the news lady's all like, I can't believe they even figured out how to break into that truck. She's like, I wouldn't have been able to figure that out. And it's like you can go in the box too for 2 minutes for not being that bright. But yeah, so who are you throwing in the box, Kyle?
So I got Colorado's Shadir Sanders, quarterback. He's related to Deion Sanders. And he's coming into a press conference, and he goes, to all the NFL teams in the draft, if you're not ready to completely change your program to fit me, then don't pick me. So some very bold statements coming in from a very bold family, right? And we've heard it from Dion in the past. And yeah, he's matching that energy, coming in with heat. And honestly, all I got to say is it sounds like you're going to get yourself into the Cleveland Browns, my friend.
Yep. Right on to the Browns or the Panthers.
They'll do whatever you want to get you in their system. Not that it'll work, but they'll do whatever you want to get you in.
So, yeah, have fun in the box. What are you throwing in for?
Just a 2-minute minor. I think
Okay.
the Sanders are pretty good players for sure. Both of them were obviously all-time legend and Dion, but
Yeah. Yep.
we'll see if Son can match it.
Yeah, so that should pretty much wrap us up for this episode. The Grand Rapids Griffins are playing the Iowa Wild for Star Wars night, and then they have a mid-weekend trip to Manitoba to take on the bottom team in the Central Division. So that midweek matchup will be Tuesday and Wednesday, just kind of like the Stars one was.
Yeah, and then one more away game to cap that one off at the end against the Chicago Wolves.
But all right, until next time, go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like, and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.